Thanks for joining us again here at First in Preparedness, where we continue on our exciting journey of first aid. Now, in the last video, we discussed some items that we could use to kind of supplement these off-the-shelf first aid kits that may be less than adequate for treating like mid-level injury stuff. I mean, we're not talking, trauma kit level stuff, but, things like minor cuts that you can actually avoid going to the hospital for. We talked about some gauze pads to get. We talked about some triangle bandages, some steri strips instead of sutures, some additional pads. But what do we do if we start to order some of these items in bulk? And what can we do with some of those things? Well, I'm here to give you a tip on some of that cost. Now, as I discussed in the first video, there is some higher initial cost if you want to quote unquote build your own first aid kit and order items online individually, but they go a much longer way. What I'm going to do today is kind of cover some things that you might want to possibly do if you buy these items, and how much are they going to cost if you buy them in bulk as well. Let's look at the associated cost of some of these items if we were to buy them in bulk. You can buy 100 of these, which is a 4x4, 12-ply gauze pad. You can buy 100 of these for, $13. Next, let's look at the triangle bandages. Triangle bandages, you can buy 12 of these things for $8.50. Next, we have the 2x3 non-stick pads. You can pick up 100 of these for $9.50. Next, you have the slightly larger one, the 3x4, and you can get 50 of these for $10. You look at Coban or Vet Wrap, you can get 12 of these for $10. And then, of course, you have steri strips. They sell a multi-pack on these on Amazon of various sizes and widths, and those are $9. Now, your DuraPro or your 3M DuraPro, which is that silk tape, the heavy-duty stuff, is a little bit more expensive. You can get 12 rolls of this for $16. And of course, you have, individual packets of antibiotic ointment, and you can pick up 144 of these for $13. And of course, you have BZK wipes. BZK, you can get 100 of these for $8. So if you look at the overall cost of buying these items in bulk, you're going to spend about $100 on the items that I just showed you. So let's see how we can actually utilize these items to kind of stretch those things out. So now that we've bought these items in bulk, let's make some extra first aid kits. Now basically you can make 10 of these things. If you take just a gallon Ziploc freezer bag, kind of show you how you split this up. So I've got my gallon freezer bag. I'll take 10 of these 4x4 sponges, put them in there. Take 5 of the 3x4 non-stick pads, which of course are good for covering wounds. Put those in there. Take 5 of the 2x3s, put them in there. Grab one of my triangle bandages, throw that in there. Take one of my Coban wraps, put it in there. Take one of my 3M DuraPro silk tapes, throw them in there. Grab 10 of these BZK wipes for cleaning wounds off, put them in there. And then, of course, 10 of these blister packs of triple antibiotic ointment, put those in there as well. And then maybe grab some 3M steri strips and throw them in there as well for wound closure. Now, what I've got here is a decent, what I would call mid-level first aid kit. Like I said, you could use these for any multitude of things, whether it be throwing it in your car and having a first aid kit on hand in case you come across an accident, or if you live next to some train tracks and there's a train wreck, or if you basically live in a tornado-prone area and your neighbor's house gets ripped out of the ground by a vicious F5 tornado, you might want to head out with some of these. And you can make 10 of these out of just that $100. and that's a decent first aid kit. You want to expand it a little bit, throw a couple of Band-Aids in with it too. But nonetheless, for 10 bucks, that's actually a pretty sizable first aid kit. If you bought these items individually, it would be much more expensive. But buying in bulk, you can make 10 of them. There it is, folks. How to properly utilize your bulk bought first aid items. You know, like I said, if you live in a neighborhood, you can toss these out to people as a measure of goodwill. Keep one in your car in case you have to hold meth heads together. And lastly, you can also now purchase first aid items online with your HSA account. Now, I wouldn't suggest necessarily doing that because of the tax advantages, and draining your HSA is not good. But if you have a sizable HSA and you haven't spent anything out of it, well, hey, take $100 out and buy yourself some bulk first aid items. With that, thank you again for tuning in here to First in Preparedness. And as always, like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Have a great day.